What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Brian, and I know I must sound like a broken record at this point, but I am super excited to unbox what has just arrived, and in fact, this is probably the most exciting backpack that I've ever unboxed for reasons that I will get into that are not necessarily related to this specific pack itself. So I am doing things a little bit out of order. This is a custom pack. Thank you to Sean, who is the bag whisperer, as Scott would say, for convincing me that I needed to get this pack. It actually ended up being incredibly timely because this is a pack from ARCH IND, a custom maker, Andrea, out of Italy. And I've been working with Andrea to custom spec my own backpack, but this came up. It was a build for someone out of Singapore, and I ended up buying it from Sean, private party, but Andrea reached out to me today, the same day that this pack arrived, to let me know that he was ready to build my pack. So I was actually planning to make a video about custom packs in general. I was going to talk about the Philip Rabach Day Pack. I've got two versions behind me and kind of what you can get from a custom build. Instead, now we're gonna go full blown, open up a completely custom pack, one of one. And I'm gonna use this to check out what Andrea has to offer from ARCH and see what I like, what I don't like, what I might ask for differently. So let's get this bad guy open and see what we're working with. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Initial impression, just beautiful. The photos look beautiful in hand. This is better than I thought it would be. The selection of materials is completely custom all the way through. We have an Alpine X-Pack X50 material up front. We have I actually am not too familiar with this material. I think it's a black Sire. I'm gonna look it up. An EPX70 in black Sire, so Eco Pack. I actually can tell that because of the grid pattern behind it. It's a square as opposed to kind of a elongated X. But man, this is just really, really stunningly beautiful. The other thing is, it's got a full Kevlar bottom, and I wasn't sure how that material feels in hand or how it actually looks. It does feel quite durable. I'm not 100% sure if it's my favorite choice for the bottom or not, but I think it suits the pack pretty nicely. If we go over this whole thing, see, ARCH will basically completely custom make the pack to whatever you desire. And quite honestly, for the build that I'm speccing with him, I've asked for a lot of modifications. It's a little bit overwhelming to have that kind of flexibility. And to ARCH's credit, Andrea's credit, he is incredible. He is so patient. He will work with you on all of it. And this was a completely custom build. So again, I'm not the biggest fan of roll tops where the roll top is the only access. I actually want a kind of either full front or full rear clamshell access to the pack. This one does not have that, but it does have front access. I'm actually not entirely familiar with the whole layout, so let's just kind of jump into it. We've got the Cobra buckle up top, nice and large. Looks like probably 1.5 inches, really burly. And there's a surprise inside this pack as well. Velcro up top. We've got a kind of lime green nylon pack cloth interior. unlined on the sides and the roll top. It's just the back side of the X50 material, but inside, oh wow, this is much larger than I thought. This is super cool. Let's take a look at this first. We have a custom pouch with fidlock buckles on the back that can attach to the side of the pack. This is huge. This is very large. I don't know what I was expecting size-wise. This is much larger than what I was expecting from the photos. But very nice, kind of simple organization. Different pockets and slots. Some stretch webbing. Let's see how this actually fits on the pack itself. So it should go right here along the side. And there's an additional clip to kind of lock it in place, I think, right, once it's actually in here. So if we don't want someone to snatch it or to fall off easy, you can clip that in first, and then the fidlock buckles just magnetically clip into place. And look at that. That is a super awesome, over-the-top, really, really cool feature. So, big fan of that, very cool. It has me thinking or wondering, should I do the same for my pack? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I want to take it that far, but it is great food for thought, and it is nice to see up close what that looks like. So, there's too much material going on up here. Let's get this roll top closed. Realistically, I would want to use this as little as possible. So let's see how the access to this pack works from the front. We've got really beautiful molly webbing. I wasn't sure where this strap came in, but it comes in right off the top. So this is just excess material to kind of grow the size of the roll top if necessary. And behind it, really just, again, beautiful molly webbing, little Velcro patch here, ARCH logo. What is on this side? We've got a tag. ARCH is where craftsmanship and design meets functionality. Every product is tailored specifically to your individual needs to finally provide you with the item that you've been looking for. Your inseparable companion for your future adventures, no matter where they will take you. Handcrafted in Italy. And my goodness, is that so true. Very nice. Inside we have a bottle opener with the ARCH logo. Pretty cool. And this is basically just a very large front pocket lined in nylon pack cloth. Green, very beautiful green. I love interesting colors in general, but especially on the inside, it provides nice contrast for the pack and anything you might have in there so that you can visibly see what you've got going on, which means the access to this must be on the other side. And it is, and again, if this were my build, my personal build, this would not be my ideal setup because I want a lot of access. I would like clamshell access. I want to get this thing all the way open. I want to be able to see what's in there and load it out very easily without having to go through the roll top. But this was kind of like it was available. My decision was basically take it or don't. And I was convinced to take it. Sean is a very convincing man. But he had a little help because I was inclined to do it anyway. And having this in hand, I'll tell you, I love it. Some packs are not necessarily what you would go for, but when you get them, they just wow you in a way that you weren't expecting. I expected big things from this, and it's blown my expectations away and then some. The quality is just through the roof. It oozes style, and it should be very functional for me as well. Side is a Dura-Stretch pocket, it feels like. We have some side compression down low and up top. The other thing I really wanted to see was the buckles that he uses, because I could replace these with other kinds of hardware, fit locks, Cobra buckles, but the style of these looks pretty nice. It looks kind of more modern than your standard clip, and they should be lightweight and pretty functional. I wanted to actually try kind of opening and closing them a bit. It's a little bit tricky to get slotted back in, because you actually have to apply pressure to one side of the clip for it to fit. It doesn't just fit in smoothly. It kind of helps give it that modern look, but I'm actually not the biggest fan of using this, to be honest. The back has a laptop sleeve. It's fully enclosed, really well padded, goes into the padding, the foam padding on the rear of the pack, and it feels like there's a light frame sheet to protect it from the front. I would personally prefer, if I were building this, that this front is actually padded as well, and in fact I've asked Andrea for that specifically. One other thing I was curious about, because I wasn't sure, so I saw a flap on the inside. This is going to be kind of hard to show, but I saw a flap on the inside and I thought it was maybe a flap to access the laptop compartment. But on the back side, where there is the laptop compartment, it does not feel like a flap. So really what this is here, this is just the frame sheet. So that's a little bit different than what I was expecting. I actually thought this was going to be a flap to get at the laptop. It's actually just to hold the frame sheet on the back side of the laptop compartment in place. So you cannot access the laptop compartment through the roll top, which is fine, but it wasn't what I was thinking was happening from the pictures. The other thing that I've heard is that this ARCH tag here, and I'll have to get a better close-up shot of this, has the ability to hide a air tag behind it. It's a very nice tag, and I think the top is in fact secured through Velcro. So it's basically a little hidden pocket, and you could just drop an air tag in there if you want to make sure that if you lose your bag, you're going to be able to find it again. That is a feature I probably would not have known is there if I did not read about it from other people. And kind of similar to, you know, the other packs that I've seen for the first time, I just want to give this a good once over and make sure I'm not missing any hidden features or pockets. I think that that is pretty good coverage of it. I don't think there's anything that I'm missing. On the back side, the straps are actually pretty thin. I love how he makes these really fun, where he'll take whatever material you want, he'll run it however you want. So in this case, they went with the X50 up top, an X50 accent, and then the black sire down below. I plan to actually have this material run all the way through with an accent panel there. And again, Andrea will do whatever you want. So the last thing here is just to try this guy on and see what we think about the size and the comfort, because that is a big question mark for what I plan to have built. I'm not sure of the dimensions of the pack or how it will wear or feel on me, so I want to try a different pack on for size, and then I can circle back with him with thoughts on the overall measurements. Now in this case, it's going to be interesting. I might have to undo this. There's strap keepers on the bottom of this, so if this pack doesn't fit, I'm going to have to do a number of adjustments. His sternum strap has elastic in it, which is a nice touch. Again, similar issue here where the clip just doesn't go in smooth. You have to kind of catch one side, apply some pressure, and push the other side in. So I think especially for the sternum strap, I'll probably ask for a different clasp option, maybe a sliding fidlock. I can't see how that looks exactly. I feel like I probably ought to, yep, I can tell. I need to make these straps a little bit longer and run this a little bit further down my back because I'm not getting any curve right here. So give me a minute to do that. All right, I've got some slack. I can make an adjustment. I'll probably fine tune it a little bit later, but I think for sake of this video, that's probably good enough. How does it look? How does it feel? It feels pretty comfortable. The straps are pretty thin, but they are pretty comfortable. The way that it falls along my shoulders and chest is just very nice. Overall, I feel like this would be a very comfortable pack to wear long distances. I have a feeling it looks just as amazing on my back as it does holding it in hand. I don't know if there was an official name for this build, but I think it probably ought to be called the Stormtrooper. It totally reminds me of the kind of pack a Stormtrooper would wear if they wore a backpack. Overall, this pack is just absolutely beautiful. Really incredible work. Incredibly impressed with the overall build quality, style, function. I cannot wait to get my hands on my custom build. Andrea, let's get it done. And I think that's it. So let me know what you think of this. Do you have a build from ARCH? Would you make a custom build if you could? And if so, what are the features you would go for? I'll give you a hint. I am trying to do as much access as possible on my pack. So we're talking multiple clamshells, which sounds kind of crazy. And really what I'm doing here, which is kind of nuts across the board, is I've showed you guys my Dispatch day pack that I've taken with me all over Europe. It is great. I am trying to build the pack that addresses all of the issues that I've ever run into with every other backpack all in one, while still having a pack that is stunningly beautiful to look at. And that's the challenge I've set for Andrea, and I honestly think he's up for it. So that's all I've got for this one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you at the next one soon.